Yeah, hello. Once again, all of you, welcome to the session today. Coming to the NTSC classes, today we are going to discuss about the topics. The first one is about okay, sir. ఓకే నేను కూడా అన్మ్యూట్లో ఉన్నాను వాయిస్ వస్తుంది కదా సార్ Okay, coming to the topic, today we are going to discuss about Indo-Gangetic Plains. The first one. And second one is about coastal plains. And the third one is about islands. As these three are the small topics, today we are going to discuss about the Indo-Gangetic Plains, coastal plains and islands. Earlier, we discussed about the 6 relief features of our country. The first one about the Himalayas, and we discussed about some of the major rivers which have been flown nearby the Himalayas, where we call those rivers as Himalayan rivers. What are all those? The first one is Indus, Ganga, and the last one is about Brahmaputra. Because of the flow of these rivers, the fertile alluvial soil has been eroded. What is the meaning of eroded? For example, here I am taking a name. It's a land surface, and in the hilly region, from the hilly regions, the flow of the river has been taken. So while the flow of river is going on, the water is going to erode, in the sense separate about the soil particles. It separates the soil particles and move further towards the direction where it is possible to move. As we discussed earlier that completely majority of the rivers are flowing towards the east direction. So the flow of the water is taken east direction, at the same time it is going to erode, separate about the soil particles. So because of these three rivers, the Indo-Gangetic Plains has been formed. The name Indo has been the flow of Indus River and the Gangetic Ganga rivers. Clear? So because of these flow of the rivers, the Indo-Gangetic Plains, where the fertile alluvial soil and the location is useful for cultivation regularly. If you go through about the map, the flow of Indo-Gangetic Plains has been taken from Jammu and Kashmir towards nearby the location Bangladesh. It has been taken a continuous flow. Because of this, the river which has been originated here, what is the river? Two major rivers nearby the Kailash ranges has been taken from the glaciers. The first one is about the Indus River. Indus River, the flow of the Indus River is going to be taken in this pack. At the same time, the 5 tributaries also gone taken. In the sense, the first plain region has been formed by the river Indus near Jammu and Kashmir, and here we have been gone through, discussed about the flow of another river, that is Ganga river. So because of the flow of the Ganga river also, the plain region has been formed. So generally, the plain regions are categorized into 3 types. The first one is about the western, second one is about the central, and the third one is about eastern. The western plains completely taken nearby the western part of the north country, in the sense Jammu and Kashmir here, and the flow of the river is going to be taken by the merging of some of the rivers with Ganga and Indus. Even though we have been Indus River, the 5 tributaries are useful for this plain region, in the sense the flow of the river, 5 tributaries as we discussed, JC brothers, Jhelum, Chenab, Beas, Ravi and Satluj. These rivers have been moving towards the west direction. At the same time, the flow of the tributaries, in the sense the rivers are eroding the soil particles. Whereas coming to the Ganga river, from the point Ghaggar to Teesta, these are all the tributaries of river Ganga. From Ghaggar to Teesta, the flow of the water is going to erode about the soil particle. If you observe here, the lowermost Himalayan region, as we discussed earlier, Himalayas have been categorized into three types. One is greater Himalayas, lesser Himalayas, and outer Himalayas. The another name for outer Himalayas is about Shivaliks. So here, if we compare here, in this region, the Shivalik region, in the sense, the Shivalik regions, the flow of the river is going to separate about the soil particles, and these soil particles have been divided into the names like Bhabar and another one is about Terai regions. Bhabar and Terai region. Coming to the meanings of the Bhabar and Terai region. What is the meaning of a Bhabar? Yeah, for example, again, I am going through a pictorial pack here. This is about the land particle and the flow of the river has been taken. The flow of the river from the mountainous region has been taken. If you observe clearly, in some of the areas, the flow of the river has been stopped, what we call simultaneously or unfortunately. Again, in a particular, after a particular distance, the flow of the river is going to be taken. The continuous flow of the river is going to be taken. If you observe this, whenever the river is going to be, in the sense the flow of the water is going to be taken to the interior part of the earth, we call it as Bhabar. And nearby the foot of Shivaliks. Foot of Shivaliks. Again, the water which has been deposited or inserted by itself in the Bhabar region is going to be come out in the foot of the Shivaliks, where we call it as Terai. Clear? So the Bhabar and the Terai regions are very, very important. And coming to the Doab, here in between these regions, we use the term named as Doab. Doab features. What is the meaning of a Doab here in the sense? The flow of the river, what the flow of the river is going to take in? It is going to separate about the soil particles, and the sediment rocks and the pervious rocks are going to melt because of the flow of the river, where we call it as Doab. Clear? So, from Indus and Ganga rivers, the plain region is going to be taken. Whereas, if we compare to another region, that is about the Brahmaputra region. As we discussed earlier, in the Brahmaputra region, from Arunachal Pradesh, the river is going to be entered into the Bangladesh. It is completely different, we discussed it earlier. But here also, the river is going to erode about the soil particles, and these soil particles are also useful for the fertile cultivation, in the sense cultivation process. Regular agriculture is going to be taken. Comparing to the rivers Indus and river Ganga, there will be a regular rainfalls nearby this region. Clear, children? And here also, nearby the plain region, we have about the forest areas where we have some of the forest like evergreen forest. What is the meaning of evergreen? Evergreen in the sense, the forest, a land is completely covered with the branches of the trees. In the sense, those trees and the leaves are not allowing the sun rays to fall on the ground. Just imagine, completely it has been covered with the dense leaves, where we call it as evergreen, and here also regular rainfall will be there. If we go through about the southern part of our country, nearby Kerala and Karnataka, in some parts of Karnataka and in Kerala, we can find the evergreen forest. Clear, children? So, this is about the plain regions. Plain regions are being categorized into three types. The first one is about the western part. The western part completely comes near Jammu and Kashmir, and the central. And the central part comes under the tributaries of Ganga, Ghaggar and Teesta, and the eastern part completely by the river Brahmaputra. The river Brahmaputra. So these are all the three major plain regions. Because of these regions, some part of the northern country, or else the northern part of the country is getting about regular vegetation and rainfall. if we comparing to, if we go through to the southern part, here, we won't find any type of regular rainfalls. Why? What is the reason? The temperature is completely differ. There are different reasons for the temperature differ. What? If we go through about first reason, here, if we go through here, completely this area, in the sense the Arabian and the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean, the land is completely covered with three sides of water. So what happens? The humidity, as we know that, if we go through about the science terminology, water is a good conductor of heat, and it is also land is a good conductor of heat. If you go through in that terminology, what happens? Water is absorbing the heat slowly. At the same time, water repels the heat slowly. When the water is going to absorb the heat on the daytime, and at what time it is going to repulse the heat on the night time. So water is a bad conductor of heat. Why? Because it absorbs slowly and it repels slowly. Whereas coming to the land particle, if you go through the interior part of that, the heatness is absorbed by the land, and immediately when the temperature is cool, immediately the heatness is repulsed. So that is the reason, if we compare to the northern part and the southern part here, northern part is always cool because of the Himalayas here, the first reason. And the second one is about the plain regions, regular flow of the river. Whereas if you go through the southern part, the humidity is going to be taken from the three sides, Arabian, Bay of Bengal and Indian Oceans. Clear, children? Because of this humidity, the temperature is going to be warm or high temperature nearby the peninsular region in the southern part. Clear? So, if we go through about the coastal plains here, coming to the coastal plains, so how many coastal areas we have? Earlier we discussed about the coastal areas. How many coastal areas we have? We have 7 coastal areas. So is that the plain region is also going to be affect the coastal regions? In some parts, not completely, like the places from Gagar to Teesta or nearby the Indus River, like the flow of the rivers or tributaries which has been taken earlier. One second. I will get another cloth. Sir, where a cloth here, sir? So coming to the plain regions, children, go through about the India map. Here, we discussed earlier regarding about the plain regions from Gujarat to Odisha. It is somewhat easy to remember the coastal plains in the shape of a V. Clear? If we go through about the Gujarat, we have the coastal region or the coastal plains that where we call it as Gujarat coast. Clear, children? It completely comes under the western part, whereas remaining these areas from Gujarat to Kerala, where we call it as western coastal plains. Clear? Western coastal plains. So these western coastal plains are continuous, and it has been taken up to the variation of 1400 kilometers, beginning from Maharashtra and ending with Kerala. Clear, children? So how much length it is? It covers about 1400 kilometers, and the width is about 10 to 30 meters. The width is about 10 to 30 meters. It is going to take about 10 to 30 meters in the western coastal plains. Whereas if you go through to the eastern part, eastern coastal plains, as we discussed, it has been taken from Odisha and completely to the Tamil Nadu. So these are all not continuous. That's what is the meaning of not continuous? Because of the flow of the rivers, the deltas have been formed. The division of the eastern coastal plains are going to be taken. So here we can see the division. So in the sense, here the delta region is going to be taken. Delta region is going to be taken. That is the reason the eastern coastal plains are not continuous. So the coastal plains are of three types. The first one is about Gujarat coast, second one is about western coast, and the third one is about eastern coast. Here we have about the eastern coast. If we go through about the state-wise, just have a note about the state-wise coastal plains. Nearby Gujarat, we have Gujarat coastal. And if we go through about Maharashtra, Konkan. So nearby Gujarat, Gujarat coast. Nearby Maharashtra, we have Konkan coast, and nearby Karnataka, Canara, and coming to the Kerala, we have Malabar coast. To remember about the Kerala coast, it is somewhat easy to remember, children. So Malabar gold and diamonds, Kerala, Kerala coast, Malabar coast. If we go through about the eastern parts, we have only three major ones. Coming to the eastern, the first one is about Tamil Nadu. Nearby Tamil Nadu, we have Coromandel and Andhra Pradesh. We have Sarkar coast, and coming to last one, Odisha, we have Utkal coast. Clear? So how these coastal plains are going to affect about the agricultural lands in the sense, if we observe clearly to the eastern part, because of the flow of the deltas, from where these deltas have been taken? Because of non-perennial rivers. What is the meaning of non-perennial rivers? The rivers which doesn't flow continuously. Rivers doesn't flow continuously. Are said to be like non-perennial rivers. These non-perennial rivers are also called as peninsular rivers. So we have some of the rivers like Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Tungabhadra, Penna, and some of the lakes also taken part. The famous lakes of our country like Pulicat, Kolleru. So these are all the lakes. So here if we observe in the eastern part, because of the flow of the rivers and because of the formation of the deltas, the surrounding areas are completely, or the water is utilized completely for agriculture, and not only for agriculture, for generating about electricity. Like electric project, electricity, thermal projects are also going to be taken. So, but coming to the western part, the height completely varies. But here less coastal areas have been. Areas in the sense, the plain region, less agriculture in the western part. Here we can get about less agriculture. What is the reason in the sense? The land has been tilted, earlier we discussed it, the land has been tilted towards the east direction. In the sense here it will be in this part, and continuous formation of the hilly regions are going to be taken. Excuse me. The continuous forms of the hilly regions are going to be taken here. So that is the reason here we don't find any type of regular agriculture purpose, but whereas if you go through about the eastern part, we have some provisions of agricultural purpose. Clear, children? And coming to another one, after this I will give important notes about the coastal. Coming to the islands. How many islands we have? So generally we people think that India is a peninsular and it is a subcontinent, and we have about only 2 islands. That is about Lakshadweep Islands in Arabian Sea and Andaman Nicobar Islands at Bay of Bengal. But in general, children, we have 6 625 islands. 625 islands we have. Sir, I won't find the 625 islands in the map. Even though if I go through about Google search, I won't find any type of the islands, what you said, like 625. I'm able to find only about 2 islands, that is about to the Arabian Sea, I have Lakshadweep Islands, and to Bay of Bengal, I have about Andaman Nicobar Islands. If you observe clearly, children, the islands here are Andaman Nicobar Islands. A small parts of the land has been raised here. In this part, we have 575 islands here, whereas the remaining islands are completely taken to the eastern part, where we call these islands as Lakshadweep. And these are all Andaman and Nicobar. These are all the union territories. Andaman Nicobar is the union territory. And what is the capital of Andaman Nicobar? Port Blair. Port Blair is the capital of Andaman Nicobar Islands. And whereas coming to the Lakshadweep, the capital of Lakshadweep is about Kavaratti. What is the difference between the Lakshadweep Islands and Andaman Nicobar Islands is about? The first difference is about these Andaman Nicobar and the Lakshadweep Islands are generally the island, the word island, in the sense how they have been formed. Till now, in the interior part of the earth, the temperature is going to be rising. When the temperature rises, the land part comes to the top layer. When it is about the oceanic part, because of the mixing with the water, it is going to become like a huge hard particle, where we call it as a island. So the difference is about here these Lakshadweep islands are completely formed of coral reefs, some cerals or high proteins or high vitamins. The products are going to be, in the agriculture, the crops are going to be taken at Lakshadweep Islands. Whereas here Andaman Nicobar, we don't find any type of the major agriculture purpose like Lakshadweep Islands, but here still now there are 2 active volcanoes, where we call it as active volcanoes. What are all the 2 active volcanoes are? The first one is about Narkadam and second one is about Barren Islands. Narkadam and the Barren Islands. These are all the 2 islands which are still active now, which have been taken at Andaman and Nicobar. So clear, children? Now we are going to write some important notes regarding about the Indo-Gangetic plains and coastal plains and also at the islands. I request you people to note down the points. Please place the heading, all of you, Indo-Gangetic plains. As these are all the small topics, have been taken as a major topic. Once again, when we go through about the map representation, we will go through mentioning some of the hilly regions here. Even though if we move towards once. First one, write down the notes now. First point, the plain regions have been categorized into 3 types. The first one is about western plain regions nearby Jammu and Kashmir. In brackets you can write, because of flow of the tributaries of Indus. What are all the tributaries of Indus? JC brothers, Jhelum, Chenab, Beas, Ravi and Satluj. These are all the tributaries of Indus. Clear? And coming to the central Indo-Gangetic plains. The central Indo-Gangetic plains are also called as Gangetic, in the sense nearby the Ganga river, flow of Gagar and Teesta. Gagar and Teesta. In between Gagar and Teesta, what are all these Gagar and Teesta? These are all the two tributaries of river Ganga. Clear, children? Here we have the Doab feature. Write down the meaning of a Doab. The meaning of the Doab here in the sense, the alluvial land between the rivers. Between the rivers is called as a Doab. Especially we can find this Doab feature between Gagar and Teesta in the central plains. And coming to the eastern. The last eastern is about Brahmaputra Valley. Eastern Brahmaputra Valley, nearby Assam. The location is about Assam. Eastern Brahmaputra Valley nearby Assam. And it has a narrow belt. The flow of the river is going to be taken in the narrow pattern, in the narrow belt, where it extends to 8 to 16 kilometers. It extends to 8 to 16 kilometers. And where we call this feature as we said earlier, Babar and Terai. The flow of the river where it is going to be end on the land surface is called as a Babar. Especially we can find such type of the Babar regions near the central Himalayas. What is the central Himalayas? Lesser Himalayas. Where we call this as Babar region. Clear? And next, the swampy and the marshy region. What is the meaning of a swampy? The wet soil, completely the wet soil, alluvial soil. Wet alluvial soil and marshy. Marshy in the sense, the soil is going to mix with the moisture and the dust particles. Is called as terai. Swampy and marshy. Swampy and marshy regions, where we call it as terai. So the Babar plain has been extended to 8 to 16 kilometers, and remaining plains are, here we have some of the remaining plains, please note down it. The first one is about Rajasthan plain. Sir, we can have a doubt. Sir, coming to the Rajasthan, it completely covers with the sand, soil, in the sense, what we call about the gravels, soil gravels, or else it is a desert region. For your glance, children, complete Rajasthan is not a desert region. Clear, children? Solely. If we compare here, this part is about Rajasthan. This part we can go through about the Rajasthan plain. The plain region, whereas the flow of the river is going to be taken, is being considered as a plain region. Where it covers about the Rajasthan, we call it as a Rajasthan plain. And the next one is about Punjab and Haryana plains. So what all the rivers are flowing here? Nearby Punjab and Haryana, the tributaries of Indus. So the tributaries of Indus have been flown towards the Punjab and Haryana region. And coming to the third one is about the Ganga plain. As I said earlier, the Ganga plain has been taken from the flow of the rivers from Gagar and Teesta. And coming to the fourth one, Brahmaputra plain. From Brahmaputra valley, Assam, near Assam. So these are all the complete plain regions nearby the Himalayan mountains. So what are all the benefits of Himalayas? First of all, if we discuss, a continuous flow of the rivers are going to be taken. And here we have about some of the hill stations. What is the meaning of hill stations? Sir, in summer, sir, if we feel about some humidity, we people, especially the people from the southern part, they want to move towards the northern part of the country. What is the reason? As they are not able to bear the temperature here, they are moving to northern part to the hill stations. Hill stations are completely under tourism, the sense where they attract the people. Because of the nature, the people are moving there. Here we have continuous hill stations in the Himalayan regions. These hill stations are also comes under the plain regions also. Why? Because the flow of the river is going to be taken. So the hill stations are like Mussoorie, Raniket, Nainital. So these areas, majority of the people are going to be survive in the regions of or at the time of summer, as they are not able to bear the temperature. And the continuous flow of these regions are from Jammu and Kashmir along with Himachal Pradesh, Mussoorie, Raniket, Nainital. These are all the hill stations. It's very important, blank children. So what are all the hill stations in the, or famous hill stations in the Himalayan regions are Mussoorie, Raniket and Nainital. Clear? So coming to the next, coastal plains. Write down some points regarding about the coastal plains. So Gujarat completely it comes under formed because of deposit of the soil, and where the soil is going to be taken to the Gujarat. Here we have the rivers. One of the river in Rajasthan, where we call the river as rain-fed river. The name of the river is about River Luni, and another river nearby this region is about River Mahi. If we go through about Aravali ranges, here we have about Aravali ranges. So here we have one more river that is about Sabarmati. And to the border of the Gujarat, we have two parallel rivers that is about Narmada and Tapati or Tapi rivers. So what happened? What is the nature of the river? The flow of the water is going to eradicate about the soil. In the sense, it deposits, it remove about the soil particles, and nearby the Gujarat, it is going to be stored. And even though the soil is useful for agriculture purpose. Clear, children? So nearby the Gujarat, we have about, because of these rivers, the flow of the soil is going to be taken, where we call, earlier we discussed like Babar and Terai regions. If you go through about the western part completely here, the western parts, if majority of the rivers has been originated in western, like river Godavari in Nasik, Maharashtra, Trimbakeshwar. Another river Krishna. If you go through about Karnataka, we have one more river that is about river Tungabhadra. These rivers are going to merge in Bay of Bengal. If you observe clearly here, the movement of the rivers, in these regions, the fertile soil is going to be taken, and at the same time, the river water has been taken as a agriculture purpose. But coming to the western part, only few rivers has been taken. If you go through southern part, as we discussed earlier, in Karnataka, that is about Netravati river, which is a tributary of Tungabhadra river. So here completely less alluvial soil is going to be taken, whereas if you go through about the Gujarat and the eastern part of the coastal plains, huge alluvial soil or the soil eradication is going to be taken. Clear, children? And coming to the last one is about islands. So how many islands we have? 625. Among those, 575 islands comes under Bay of Bengal, Andaman Nicobar, and remaining are the parts of Lakshadweep Islands. Remaining are the parts of Lakshadweep Islands. So what is the capital of Andaman Nicobar? Is about Port Blair. And what is the capital of Lakshadweep Islands? It is about Kavaratti. Clear? And here we have to know one more important feature of our country. If you observe in a satellite view, a line is going to be connected from India to Sri Lanka. If you observe the line is going to be connected from India to Sri Lanka. Earlier, if you go through about the epic stories, like if you go through about Ramayana, a bridge, where we call it as Setu, a bridge has been constructed Later it has been renamed as Adams Bridge. So the line which is shown in the satellite is the same bridge, but there is another name for this line, that is about Park Strait. 1 second, children. The line is about Park Strait, which is connecting India and Sri Lanka. If you go through about near here, we have one more country, that is about Sri Lanka. If you go through, the connecting has been taken from Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu, where we call this connecting line as Park Strait. Clear, children? So this is about the today's topic.